There are moments in football when everything shifts, when a team that's been written off, laughed at, and doubted finally stands up and roars back. Sunday afternoon in Charlotte was one of those moments. The Carolina Panthers didn't just win a game, they sent a message, to the league, to their critics, and maybe even to themselves. For the first time in a long while, Bank of America Stadium felt alive. Fans were on their feet, voices breaking through the clouds as the final seconds ticked away. The Dallas Cowboys walked off the field stunned, because this wasn't luck. This was domination. And for Panther Nation, it was a reminder of who they could be when heart meets execution. And at the center of it all, a man with a chip the size of Texas on his shoulder, Rico Dowdle. Call it a revenge game. Call it payback. Whatever you name it, Rico turned the field into his personal statement. 30 carries. 183 yards on the ground. Another 56 through the air. One touchdown that made the crowd erupt. That's 239 yards of fury against the very team that once let him walk. You could see it in his eyes, every cut, every stiff arm, every broken tackle screamed, "You should have believed in me." By the time the final whistle blew, Rico wasn't just the player of the game, he was the soul of Carolina's resurgence. He now holds a franchise record for most yards from scrimmage in 2 straight games, 473 total. Think about that. In a league built on speed and youth, this man just carried the offense on his back. And that offensive line. They finally looked like a unit. You could feel the shift, the trenches moving in rhythm, carving lanes, protecting Bryce, giving this offense the stability it's been craving since week 1. Every block, every push forward was a sign that Carolina's foundation might finally be solidifying. But while Rico's heroics stole the spotlight, something else quietly happened on that field. Bryce Young grew up. For months, he's been the target of frustration and doubt. Too small. Too raw. Not the guy. But on this day, Bryce played with poise and control. He didn't need to throw for 400 yards, he didn't have to. His job was to command, to manage, and to win. And that's exactly what he did. This wasn't about stats, it was about maturity. The rhythm between Bryce and his offense looked real, not forced. He made smart decisions, avoided turnovers, and delivered when it mattered most. For a young quarterback, that's how confidence is built, not overnight, but one drive, one read, one victory at a time. And yet, there are still voices in the crowd, critics saying, he's not flashy enough, or he's only winning against weak defenses. But here's the truth, football isn't about flash. It's about results. Bryce Young now has 9 career wins, 8 of them through game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. You can't teach that kind of composure. Panther Nation, this was more than a victory. This was a statement game. The run game was brutal, the O-line was relentless, and the defense, while imperfect, held strong when it mattered. This was the team fans have been waiting to see, gritty, united, and unapologetically proud. And as the final cheers echoed through Charlotte, one thing became clear, this team is no longer building for the future. The future has already arrived. There's a certain kind of silence that falls over a stadium when a young quarterback takes the huddle with everything on the line. 6 minutes left. Ball in his hands. A defense staring him down. That's when you find out who's built for it, and who isn't. And on Sunday, Bryce Young showed he is built for it. This wasn't a fluke performance. This wasn't a game manager win. This was a clinic in control, precision, and calm under fire. 17 completions on 25 attempts. 199 yards. 3 touchdowns. Just 1 interception, and even that came off a perfect throw that slipped through his receiver's hands. That wasn't on Bryce. That was just bad luck. Everything else he did. That was surgical. When Dallas pushed the Panthers to the edge, Bryce pushed back harder. Every time Carolina trailed, he answered, 10 for 10 passing, 125 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating of 158.3 when the team needed him most. That's not luck. That's leadership. For years, Panthers fans have been praying for that kind of presence under center, not a stat patter, not a highlight chaser, but a quarterback who knows how to finish. And that's what Bryce Young is quietly becoming. Look at the growth. Last season, Bryce didn't reach 11 total touchdowns until week 16. This year, he's already there by week 6. 11 total, 10 through the air, 1 on the ground, and counting. This is the kind of leap that doesn't always make headlines, but it defines futures. Because that's the thing about development, it's never loud. It's patience. It's ugly games and quiet lessons. It's failing on Sunday and learning by Monday. Bryce isn't just surviving the league anymore, he's adapting to it. And then came the moment that sealed everything. 4th and 3. Clock bleeding out. Dallas crowding the box, daring Bryce to beat them. And what does he do? He stands tall. Eyes scanning. Pressure closing in. He fires, a laser low and away, right where only Hunter Renfrow could reach it. A dime. A dagger. Game over. That throw, that one throw, said everything we needed to know about Bryce Young. The poise. The trust from his coach. The control of the moment. That's not a rookie move. That's a franchise quarterback move. And that's the difference between teams that fade and teams that build. Carolina isn't chasing flash or hype. They're laying bricks, piece by piece, drive by drive. Because when you build something slow, steady, and true, it lasts. The candle that burns brightest doesn't always burn longest. But the one that's built from the ground up, that one keeps burning for years. And right now, Panther Nation, that's exactly what's happening in Charlotte. There's something special brewing in Carolina, something you can't quite measure with stats alone. It's not just a team improving, it's a team believing. For the first time in years, the Panthers are starting to feel different. You can see it in the way Bryce Young carries himself in the huddle. You can see it in the way Rico Dowdle runs through tackles like he's punishing every doubt that was ever thrown his way. You can even see it in the sideline smiles, not of relief, but of confidence. Carolina is no longer hoping to compete. They're expecting to win. Now, don't get it twisted, this team isn't perfect. The secondary? It's rough. The pass coverage still gives fans heart palpitations every Sunday. But the core of this team, it's solid. The offensive line has become a wall. The run defense has turned fierce. And Bryce? Bryce is starting to look like a quarterback who doesn't flinch anymore. And even the kicker, Ryan Fitzgerald, the same one fans once doubted, has become money in the clutch. Every time he walks onto that field, there's no panic anymore. Just trust. That's what growth looks like. But what's most exciting about all of this is the shift in energy. You can feel it. The Panthers are finally turning a corner. Look at the numbers, they tell the story of a rebirth. In their last 4 games, Carolina is 3-1, their first time being at .500 since 2021. They're averaging 25 points a game, moving the ball for 345 total yards every Sunday. They're pounding the ground with 127 rushing yards a game, while the defense, yes, even with its issues, is holding teams to just 23 points and under 300 total yards. That's not luck. That's structure. That's discipline. That's belief turning into execution. Think about where this team was just a year ago, 0-6 to start the season, then 1-7. The offense was lost. The defense was tired. The fans were defeated. And yet here we are, 6 weeks into a new season, sitting at 3-3, second in the NFC South, and finally playing meaningful football again. You know what that means? That means something's changing in Charlotte. Because this isn't just about one win over Dallas. This is about a team that's learning how to finish. About a coaching staff that's building a culture where effort and accountability matter more than hype. About a locker room that finally believes every Sunday is winnable. Head coach Dave Canales summed it up perfectly after the game. He said, "It's a group commitment to the process, the way we practice, the way we study, the way we talk to each other. That's what leads to good results. It's about trust. When you walk through these doors, you give everything you've got. That's what leads to progress." That word, progress, it's simple, but powerful. Because this season, Carolina's not chasing perfection. They're chasing progress. Every week, a little better. Every drive, a little more confident. Every player, a little hungrier. And that's the foundation of something great. The process. The trust. The culture. It's no longer a dream, it's happening right now in Carolina. The Panthers aren't the same team anymore. They're becoming the team that nobody wants to play in December. There's something powerful about watching a young team slowly figure it out. Every week, you can feel it, the Carolina Panthers aren't just playing football anymore. They're learning, growing, and grinding their way into something real. It's not flashy. It's not fast. But it's steady, and it's starting to scare people. Because this group, they're getting better every single week. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like progress actually means something. Coach Canales said it best, trust the process. And yeah, that's hard to do when you've lived 3 years of heartbreak. When every rebuild feels like another false promise. When you see other teams, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Jets, turn things around overnight, and you can't help but wonder, why not us? But here's the truth, the Panthers aren't sprinting toward success. They're building it brick by brick. Slow and steady, like the tortoise in that old story, and we all know who wins that race in the end. So when fans from other teams start laughing, when they can't believe they just lost to Carolina, it's not an insult. It's a warning. Because this team, the one everyone wrote off months ago, just made you look soft. You think losing to the Panthers is embarrassing? Nah. What's embarrassing is underestimating them. But the moment that really hit home came on that sideline, when T-Mac finally got his first touchdown. You could see it on every face, the celebration, the emotion, the pride. Teammates rushed over, helmets clashing, arms wrapped around him, because everyone knew what that moment meant. He's been fighting, working, grinding for weeks, and finally, he broke through. 2 touchdowns. 2 statements. 1 dream realized. T-Mac didn't just score. He showed what this team is about. Heart. Faith. Brotherhood. That second touchdown, the game winner, wasn't just another play. It was the exclamation point on a new chapter in Carolina's story. Fans felt it too. From the stands to the comments, Panther Nation was buzzing. Some said, Bryce is finally trusting his guys. Others said, the culture's changing. You can feel it. And maybe that's the biggest win of all. Not just the scoreboard, but the shift. The energy. The belief. This is a team that's been doubted, dismissed, disrespected, and they're finally fighting back. So yeah, let them laugh. Let them talk. Because while they're busy mocking the rebuild, Carolina is quietly building a future that's going to shock them all. Keep pounding, Panther Nation. This story's just getting started.